Ha ha. Yeah, because his name's Mark. Happy Friday, guys. Today we're going to be doing some SEO talk because I know that most of our subscribers that we've accumulated over the last year
don't know anything about SEO.
It's not that. It's that I think it's important at the beginning of the year that we rehash a lot of the topics that, that we've done in the past, but that might need a refresher. I know that a lot of you are starting for the first time, or because it's the beginning of the year, you're super motivated to go in and start getting to, a lot of the things that maybe you put off before the holidays, because obviously you don't want to be tinkering around too much with your SEO right before the holiday season. And we don't do a lot of these kind of open type Q&As often. We usually have a bit of a topic, but today we're just answering your questions about Etsy SEO. We are going to be, we've got eRank up if you guys want, any of the tools kind of demoed for you. Now, I do want to start with the disclaimer that I'm a manager at eRank and I have been using eRank for over 5 years now. However, there are a couple tools that I don't use. I can talk about the benefits of them and I can show you how to use many of them. But there are some of the tools that they're just not tools that I personally have ever needed to use. So what I would love to do is if you have questions, I want to answer those, but maybe I could show you a couple of the tools that I personally find to be the most helpful, because a lot of the tools are going to be catered to a very specific type of person, and it's not necessarily going to apply to everyone. For example, the color thesaurus. Did you guys know that eRank had a color thesaurus tool? Most people don't. But if you want to grab some hex codes really quickly, we've got a color thesaurus tool. I don't think I've ever actually used the color thesaurus.
I have a hex code converter that I use that can convert any color from anything. So that's usually what I use.
Yeah, it's
a lot of hellos. Amber said, "Was it supposed to play your intro? Because it didn't for me. It comes from our computer directly. So when we start the stream, it's my computer playing the intro, and then we start. So you probably just joined in, or it started after the intro was done.
Did the intro not play?
It did. I had it playing.
Let us know.
It was up on here. We had the countdown.
Here from Springfield, Ohio.
That's where she grew up.
That's my hometown. Don't get shot. It's really bad there right now. Poor Gil from Gil's Meat Market. That
doesn't sound real.
He was killed for no reason. A freak accident. It's awful. Springfield needs help.
It do
need help. And then we've
on happier notes.
Hello from the Netherlands. Let's see. Oh my God, I had you guys open on a separate window, minimize it, and then heard laughter. Don't worry, it's just the laughter of Starla Moore. All right, guys. Well, happy Friday the 13th. Feel free to go ahead and get some Etsy SEO questions into the chat.
Yeah.
I would like to lead with a couple freebies for anybody who's new here. The Science of Etsy Success Workshop is linked down below. That is free. It's about 20 minutes. I think it's like 21 minutes or something like that. That is a complete breakdown of how Etsy's algorithm works to the extent that sellers are allowed to know, because obviously Etsy has their side of the algorithm that they can't share with us, because if they did, then super smart people would try to game the system. But if you want to learn about all of the factors that contribute to things like your search placement, what it really means to rank today in the world of personalized search, where every customer's search results are going to be catered specifically to them. If you want to learn about all the things that you can do to appeal to Etsy's algorithm, yes, keyword optimization is important, but there are also 6 other factors that play in aside from just relevancy, which is the keyword part. There are 6 other factors you can appeal to. So if all of that sounds good and you want to learn more about it, that workshop is free. It's down below. And when you sign up for that, you get a bunch of other Etsy SEO resources as well. You'll get a bunch right after the workshop that are linked down below it. And then I believe I send out an Etsy SEO care package to your email a couple days later. So you get a ton of stuff.
Somebody said they were obsessed with our sweatshirts. Mine's just a shirt.
His is a
His
little
owl.
his is a little
Kroger
owl.
had this shirt on the rack, and I walked past it, and I was like, I'm buying that shirt. It was on sale for like $7.
All right. So it looks like most of you are all over the world. My goodness. Okay, so we do have a question. Go ahead.
How do you change seasonal holiday keywords without getting thrown out of the algorithm? You can't change keywords without things changing, but you're not getting thrown out of the algorithm either.
No, you're only going to not appear in search for terms that people aren't searching for right now anyway. You don't get thrown out of the algorithm. There's no, that's, you don't get thrown out of search pages. You don't lose your rank in search for the terms that are unrelated to those seasonal keywords. If people aren't searching for Christmas whatevers, Christmas mugs, we'll say, for example, then it's safe to take Christmas out of your tags and titles because nobody's searching for those things right now anyway. You're not going to lose traction on any of the other keywords that you might be ranking for. If you're also ranking for floral mug, but you also had, Christmas gift in your tags and titles, you can safely remove Christmas gift and still rank for floral mug because those two tags had nothing to do with each other. Those two keywords in your title had nothing to do with each other. Now, if you were broad matching, let's say that you had Christmas gift and floral mug, but you were ranking for gift mug, even though, these are their own two separate keywords or tags, you could lose a little bit of traction if you were primarily being found for gift mug because you had Christmas gift and floral mug. You removed Christmas gift. So the gift word is now out of the equation. So it's good to know what words are bringing in traffic to your Etsy shop. That way you don't accidentally take something out. I recommend using the eRank change tracker tool because that will allow you to kind of see, where you made the changes, what happened after that you made the changes. Did you end up getting a bunch of views, favorite sales? Did you lose views, favorite sales? And if, you removed a keyword that was bringing you a lot of traffic, you can see exactly what keyword you removed, and you can go back in and add that keyword back to your listing as well. So
give me 1 second. I'm looking for, I lost, she said, what converter are you using? Well, my computer died thanks to Bubbers, and I lost it. And the one that I'm using, it might take me some time to find. I'll get the next question.
Yeah, give me a question, and then you can do some clicky around.
Yeah. Okay, if we have different scents of the same product, wax melts, should we have one listing for all or one? One seems redundant, even though I know it gives more chances of being found. One each seems redundant, even though. Yeah.
There's no right or wrong. More listings is obviously, like I always say, every listing that you have is another lottery ticket. It is another opportunity. It is another fishing pole out in the water. You are sitting on the shore and you have a choice. You can either put one fishing pole out in the water with really good, bait. Maybe it's the best worm in the world, and that's your one fishing pole. Or you can, if you have 10 different scents, you can have 10 fishing poles out in the water. The probability of a fish finding one of those worms is going to go up exponentially every time you add another pole into the water. You add another piece of, another highway, as I like to say. You have another highway that can lead people to your shop. So it's really up to you. Personally, what I would recommend is you have options for all of your scents, but you still list everything separately. So let's say that you have, I don't know, we'll just say like chocolate, vanilla, caramel scents. Maybe you have a chocolate listing, a vanilla listing, and a caramel listing, but if they click on the chocolate listing, they can still buy vanilla and caramel as a variation. If they stumble upon the vanilla listing, they can still buy chocolate and caramel as a variation. If they click on the caramel listing, they can still buy vanilla and chocolate as a variation. That way, you're both making a lot of different keyword opportunities. There's a lot of different ways that people can find you in search. But if they find one of those listings, if they stumble upon chocolate, but what they really wanted was vanilla, that option is still there for them. And that can also allow you to kind of narrow down your keyword optimization. That way, if you're optimizing just the chocolate listing, you can focus on just the chocolate keywords. Even though you technically offer vanilla and caramel, you can just optimize with all of the awesome chocolate themed words. Maybe you're using like mocha and, fudge and whatever other chocolatey themed keywords. And then you move on to the vanilla one. And though you still offer chocolate, you can fully optimize that listing with just the vanilla themed keywords. That way you can have a lot of different fishing poles in the water, but they each have, you know, a specific type of bait that's going to attract a very specific type of fish, rather than just putting the exact same type of bait on all of those hooks. So I hope that that jumble of metaphors made sense. Were you able to find it?
Not the exact one, but I did find another one for Jennifer here. Excuse me. If you go to this website, I'm actually just going to screen share it real quick. Make sure it's sharing the correct screen. It is. Okay, so I sent you this website. This is a converter, but they've got a bunch of different stuff here too. So like color converter, you can put the RGB value in here and it'll give you all of the other different readouts here. But you can also go in here, input the RGBs. You can find a color via RGB. You can do different gradients. They have lists of all the different hues. They've got hex specific. They've got mixer. So if you want to put in two different specific colors somewhere and output, it'll give you the gradients of what you're mixing there. This one's got a bunch of different stuff. If that doesn't help, let me know. I can't find the one that I used to use. The one that I used to use was a lot better. It was just one big screen with all of that kind of in one graph, but I can't find it and I lost all my bookmarks. So go away. How often do you change the SEO if a listing isn't performing well?
If it's not performing well, you're not breaking anything that you know.
But how often should they change it to check?
So I think that depends on what you define as not performing well. If it's not getting any traffic at all, you know, we say 60 to 90 days, or Etsy says 60 to 90 days is kind of how long it takes them to fully, you know, fully identify enough shopper behavior in order to give you a more permanent placement in search. However, if you're not making any traction, I would say personally 4 weeks, you're just seeing straight zeros across the board, or you're only getting like 1 or 2 views a week or something like that. And you're just, you know, you feel like you could better optimize it. I would go ahead and do it at around 4 weeks. Now I did do a video, not last week, but the week before, I believe. No, I think it was a week before that. Anyway, there's a video on my channel called like how to make a listing sell or something to that effect. That video talks about a complete process that I would use if I were you, if you've got listings in your shop that aren't selling and you want to improve them, because a lot of time it's not SEO. We automatically assume, well, you know, I know my product is good, so therefore everybody else must think that it's good. So it must be the SEO. It must be that people aren't finding it, when in reality, people might be finding it, but they're not buying it due to another reason. So that video will help you go through this little checklist where you can kind of identify what might actually be going on with your listing. And believe it or not, SEO is the last thing that I tell you guys to touch in that video, because it's a lot easier to do something like switch out a thumbnail real quick than it is to do a bunch of keyword research. And often it is something as simple as a thumbnail. Even if your photos are good, even if they look fantastic, it can be something as little as, you know, the color of a prop that you have in the background that just isn't hitting the eyes correctly. So you never know, but definitely check that video out.
I heard keywords take 2 or more months for Etsy to pick them up.
No, that is not true. Etsy picks them up immediately. It takes 60 to 90 days for Etsy to study the shopper behavior that allows Etsy to give you a more permanent rank in search. When you first list an item on Etsy, it's going to rank immediately. It might not rank well, but it is ranking immediately in search. What Etsy needs to do is have the time to identify if people are finding it organically, if people are stumbling across it, if they're favoring it when they randomly stumble across it, not you know, you sending people to your shop. Everybody favorite my listing. That doesn't do anything. But Etsy can tell if somebody has stumbled across it. You know, they click on this listing, they click on that listing, they click on this, and then they find yours. Etsy can identify that as a natural, bit of shopper behavior. And if they favorite your listing, then Etsy can identify that as well as being something positive. Same as if they buy it. And buying it, the cool thing about that is if they buy it because you sent them there, maybe they click on a link on social media and buy it, that still is good, even though they didn't find it organically to buy. If they don't find it organically and favorite it, if you send them to favorite it, that's not going to have the same impact as if they favorite it organically. But sales, Etsy doesn't care where that sale came from. Etsy is just happy because they made money and you made money, and that's going to help your overall listing quality score. And that listing quality score is one of the main things that are going to attribute to your overall rank in search. So, the whole thing about, oh, your listings don't even show up for this amount of time.
That's not how that works.
No, that's not how that works.
You pay for it. They legally couldn't do that.
Right. But at that time, during that little window, your listing is moving all over the place. Maybe on, it's on page 2 and then it's back on page 40 and then it's on page 7 and then it's on page 11 and it's moving all around, being shown to all different people. So Etsy can kind of learn what type of people they should be showing this listing to. So it's almost like that listing is just going crazy until it settles down and nestles into its nice little permanent place in the universe.
This is another tool that I wanted to show you guys that I also use for colors. I had just thought about it. It's a good resource to use. It's called Instant Eyedropper. You can get it at instant-eyedropper.com. It's a program that you download. You click on the little logo when you're done. It's only Windows. I do not think it supports Mac as of right now. And then you can literally just click on a pixel on your screen and it gives you the hex code readout. So if there's something you're like, oh, I like the color of that, I'd like to use that on something, you can say, okay, well, I can find the exact color instead of trying to guess. Sorry for the tangents, but I like to help.
Okay.
That'll help you if you don't know the exact color, especially if you're working with somebody else and they sent you something, maybe sent you the incorrect RGB or hex code or something, and you want to know the exact code, because your monitor isn't going to be a good reference for you unless it's something that's 100% color accurate, and there are like 3 monitors in the world that are. So you might not be able to actually pick it out and do it by eye anyway. Okay, let's see. Would be this one, right?
Nope.
Did you answer this one?
No, it's up. That one.
Got it. Do I need to repeat my main keywords in both my title and tags? I do not repeat all of them, but still thinking if I throw my main ones in title, tags, product description, it would be stronger.
Yes, absolutely. What you just described is Etsy's best practices. So your title is your strongest signals that you're sending to Etsy. That is, if we're talking about the algorithmic totem pole, title is the most important. Your most important keywords need to be in your title. Okay. So title first, then tags. Everything in your title should be in your tags, but not everything in your tags needs to be in your title. Okay. Because remember, our strongest keywords go in our title. Because those are our strongest keywords, we then know that those should also be repeated in our tags. We want to reiterate to Etsy, yes, I want to be known for white ceramic mug. White ceramic mug in title, white ceramic mug in tags. So it goes title first on the totem pole of importance, then tags. Next is attributes. Those are those little drop-down menus that you fill out. Make sure that if you've got the option, you've filled it out mug and it asks for material and you select ceramic from the drop-down and then it asks for primary color and you put in white and then it asks for secondary color and maybe it's pink. Those are all going to count almost as little extra tags. And technically Etsy says that we don't even need to repeat the words. If we've put them in our attributes, we don't need to repeat them in their tags. Odds are you're not going to be able to fill out all 13 tags anyway. We all hit that point after about 8 tags where we're like, I'm out of ideas. So I wouldn't think that it's a huge deal.
It gets like that real bad.
Yeah, you're not going to get penalized for, using them in both places. So title, tags, attributes, and then descriptions. Yes, you should absolutely repeat your best keywords in your descriptions, but from all of the testing that we've done at eRank, I even have a video where you can copy my test and see how insignificant descriptions really are in the broad spectrum of Etsy search. Basically, Etsy uses it as one more layer of reinforcement just in case they still can't quite figure out what it is that you're selling. Description kind of comes into play. So if it's a white ceramic mug that you're selling, you just want to make sure that white ceramic mug is, somewhere in your description as well. So everybody write it down. Title, tags, attribute, descriptions. Those are where your keywords go in that order of importance. However, like I said previously when we first started the stream, there are 6 other factors that play into ranking and search. There are 7 factors that we know of that Etsy tells us about, and my Science of Etsy Success workshop, that's free, that's down below. That covers all 7 of those factors if you want to learn about the other ones, because the SEO part, the part, the keyword part, that's just the relevancy factor, but there's a lot of other elements as well.
How do you get holidays to show up in the listing? Sometimes it's there for me, choose a holiday option, but most of the time it isn't there for me to click on the upcoming holiday.
So your holiday is an attribute, okay? So let me start by saying that if you're selling, for example, bottle opener, I just grab a random item. If you're selling this engraved bottle opener on Etsy and Christmas is coming up, you might be tempted to add the Christmas attribute because you want Christmas shoppers to find that. That is an incorrect use of the attribute.
Has nothing to do with Christmas.
This has nothing to do with Christmas. This is not a Christmas decoration. This does not say Merry Christmas on it. It doesn't have a little Santa Claus. This is not a Christmas item. So that would be a misuse of the attribute. You don't add an attribute for a holiday, an occasion, or any attributes that don't apply to your listings unless your listing is themed in that thing. Now, sometimes you will have items where Etsy knows that there is no occasion for what it is that you're selling. I can't think of any specifics where you wouldn't see holiday attributes, but I know that there are some types of products that probably just wouldn't fit in, with a holiday. So Etsy doesn't even give you the option. So just make sure that you're not abusing your attributes. It is better to leave the ones that don't apply blank than it is to miscategorize them. Because if you throw Christmas into the equation and your product isn't Christmas related, Etsy is going to start getting confused as to what it is that you're actually selling. And then you're going to be shown to the wrong people. So
yeah, and it being a Christmas present does not automatically make it a Christmas item.
Exactly.
A gamer girl fart in a jar could be a Christmas present.
Right.
Doesn't make it a Christmas item, right?
I thought she couldn't sell those anymore.
Oh, there's several others that are.
Oh, okay. I thought she got in trouble for that, or that was her bad.
Don't ask. Don't ask. Look it up on your own.
A couple people know.
How do you do SEO when your items are basic, like stickers, like skull sticker SEO that can be searched for?
You're thinking in terms of trying to find as many ways possible to describe what your item is.
You don't have to do that.
And you don't have to do that. This is a wooden bottle opener, right? Everybody can agree that this is a wooden engraved bottle opener. However, I would run out of keywords if I could say the type of wood, maybe. I don't think shoppers are even looking for that, but wood, handle, engraved, bottle opener. I'm out of keywords now. I've already described them all. So then I turn to who's buying this. This might be a good groomsman gift. Maybe, somebody's going to buy one for all of their groomsmen. Great groomsman gifts. There's a keyword. Think about the type of person that is purchasing. When we're talking about the attributes, no, don't put groomsman gift on this unless it's specifically for groomsmen, or don't put, wedding as the occasion for this unless it's specifically for, a wedding. But in your actual keywords, your tags and titles, you can get creative with it. I could put in my tags gifts for dad, grandpa, uncle, boyfriend. I could just start naming off a bunch of different recipients in order to fill out all of those 13 tags. In my title, I could put, great unique gift for Father's Day or for dad. And then maybe after Father's Day passes, I change it to great unique gift for Christmas for example. So don't just try to think of a million ways to describe skull sticker. Who's buying it? Gothy planners, goth, witchy, Halloween, oddities, curiosities. There's so many ways that you could categorize a skull sticker.
How do you know how accurate Etsy Shop Insights stats are?
So there are a couple different factors that play into any Etsy stats. For one, bot traffic is filtered out after 24 hours. So if you're looking at your stats within the 24 hours that, you've received some of these numbers, often they're not super accurate. There are some days I've heard where stats will just be completely messed up. So how accurate are they? I mean, data is only as accurate as it is quantifiable. So data is accurate based
big words.
No, well, it's true. The more data the more data you have, the more accurate something gets. Things seem to happen with Etsy stats specifically, way more frequently than they should, especially for as much data as they have on hand direct from their own internal sources. It's not like they're purchasing it third party like we have to do with tools like eRank. They're getting that data direct. So I don't know. But realistically, Etsy isn't a data tool. They're not an analytics tool. They are a marketplace platform. The analytics are just a bonus that we get on top of that. How accurate are they?
As accurate as they physically can be.
As accurate as they can be, and some days they're not accurate at all. So
I know that's a really crappy answer to a question, but yes.
Yes, exactly. The answer is yes.
Minus bot traffic and,
Right.
Does it hurt my conversion rate if I remove all my seasonal collections after the holiday, or do I leave my Christmas, Halloween collections all year round? Then all of them wouldn't be that popular.
All right, let me start with saying that your overall conversion rate that you see in your Etsy store has no impact on your shop at all. So if you go into your Etsy shop stats and you look at that little percentage or little conversion rate, that has no impact on you. It has no impact on your rank. It has no impact on your customer marketplace experience score. It has no impact on your traffic. It has no impact on how people see you. Now, what does have impact is individual conversion rates on listings, which you can't even see. You cannot see the conversion rates in stats per individual listing. It's just not information that Etsy gives to us. And odds are that your seasonal listings, if they're not selling right now, then they're not converting anyway. So even if for some reason you see a drop in your overall conversion rate for your overall storefront, it doesn't really matter. If you want to remove those listings, go ahead. It shouldn't hurt you all that much. You might see a slight drop because you might have, a couple late shoppers who are just looking for things for fun. I will say that Halloween's items kind of tend to sell year round because of, the gothy audience. But Christmas items, you're probably not going to see a lot of people shopping for those until we usually July, August, we tend to see people start to look for Christmas items.
In July.
Exactly. They do early decor shopping and they save a little bit of money because they're still paying last year's discounted prices. What's he doing?
He's fighting his ball.
I see him.
How do you get the holidays? We already read that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I already read all these.
Yeah, I think that your chat bumped.
I scrolled up, yeah. So the sentence you have vanilla but you list chocolate as a variation.
Yes, yes, exactly.
What are you dead about, Fern? Not an SEO question. If I set a pre-order listing, how do I set the shipping so I don't get dinged by Etsy? I see a lot of pre-order listings, but I can't tell how they set their shipping.
So you can move your ship by date. I think it just depends on if you know when your listing is going to ship. You could always mark it as...
You should probably have an estimated date if you do pre-orders anyway.
Yeah. I would try to get like an estimated date in there. And then if you end up needing to go over it, you can change it from your back end.
Asterisk, subject to change.
Right. And you can go into your actual orders. He's going crazy. You can go into your orders and change that shipping date once, I believe. I think you can only bump it back once if you need to. But I would try to get them, even if you under promise, over deliver, set those shipping times really, really high. If you're able to ship it way, way sooner, super cool. That's going to make your customers so happy. I bought a bunch of stuff for Christmas this year from Etsy where it said that it wasn't going to ship until like right before Christmas. And it ended up shipping really soon. And I was pleasantly surprised and I left them great reviews.
I'm going for a natural wild theme, but I'm curious if I should go with better looking custom poly mailers or paper to stay with the natural, even if it didn't look nearly as good and cost more.
Okay. I'm going to answer this one, but then we're going to go back to SEO.
Yeah, we're trying to stick to SEO questions if we can.
Yeah. So next week, if you guys want a general Q&A for other non-SEO related questions, happy to do them. But I do want to try to keep the topic specific, mainly because people yell at me in the replay for not sticking.
That's not SEO.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's what it is.
But go ahead and go back to that question because I didn't fully. Okay, so
should they get better packaging or stick with the natural ones, even though they cost more and don't look as good?
You need to think about your target audience. If I was doing, if I was purchasing a product under the assumption that it was naturally made, environmentally friendly, like if that's your gimmick, then you need to be consistent with that, because I'm going to think, wow, she doesn't really care all that much about the environment if she's using plastic, poly mailers. It sounds like a cost that will be well worth it for the integrity of your brand in the long run. And you can always add a little bit onto the cost of each product in order to accommodate premium packaging, which is primarily why big luxury brands are able to charge as much as they are. It's not just the product that you're paying for. It's the way that they package that product as well. So
is SEO your tags? You want to just describe what SEO is?
SEO is search engine optimization. It is the way that people find your store. So relevancy, how relevant your listing is to what people are searching for, like your tags, titles, and attributes. Yes, that is SEO, but there are a lot of other things that are SEO as well. Elena, I highly recommend, because it sounds like you're brand new, I highly, highly recommend down below signing up for my free Science of Etsy Success workshop. It's pre-recorded. There's no weird sales pitches. It's not like one of those webinars that you don't actually learn anything. It's around 20 minutes long, but that is going to be the crash course in Etsy SEO, how Etsy's algorithm works, and how you can make sure that your listings are seeing the traffic that they deserve to get. Because basically what you're doing is you're making your listing include a roadmap that will help shoppers to get there. If you're just listing products on Etsy and you're not using good SEO practices, which isn't, guessing your tags and titles, but actually researching those, if you're just slapping whatever in there, then you're basically taking your listing, putting it out in the middle of a cornfield with no roads to get there and hoping that you sell it. Nobody's going to know how to get there. Nobody's going to find you. Nobody's even going to know that you're out there. What you want is to have a road that leads right to that listing and road signs, and you want to have maps that are all pointing directly to that listing. That way, the correct type of person, the type of person who's most likely to buy it, is going to easily be able to navigate and find their way to it. And that's what SEO does. So definitely check out that free workshop. You'll really enjoy it, and you can just rewatch it as many times as you want to. It also includes my how to do Etsy SEO in 12-minute video. So first, the workshop's going to teach you how Etsy SEO works. And then you're going to get a link to a video that is going to teach you how to actually do Etsy SEO.
Derek, you don't have to repeat your question. We do them in order. You can actually follow along in the chat and see where we're at. I actually have your question highlighted right now. When using tags, will the algorithm recognize chunky, solid, hefty, or cute, dainty, petite? Thanks for describing the two of us. All in one tag. And pick out one or more of these keywords.
Etsy will recognize all of them, both in the order that you put them in and separately.
They will direct, if you were to put chunky, solid, hefty, maybe slash cute, dainty, petite, just to separate them.
No, we're talking about tags right now.
Oh, you're talking about tags.
Yeah. So if one of your tags was, let's say that you're selling a blanket, okay? And you used one tag, blanket, or we'll say knit blanket, and then another tag, chunky, solid, hefty, and then another tag, I got to be able to read that comment. The other tag was
cute, dainty, petite.
Cute, dainty, petite. Knit blanket, Etsy would be able to read it as knit blanket and chunky, solid, hefty, but they would also read it in every possible combination. So Etsy would be able to read chunky knit blanket, hefty knit blanket, knit solid blanket, cute knit blanket, cute dainty blanket, cute chunky blanket. Every combination, Etsy's going to broad match it. Now, exact matches where the words are right next to each other, like knit blanket, are going to be stronger than if Etsy's playing the game of Scrabble, you know, and putting them together in every possible combination. It's going to be a lot stronger if you can get them right next to each other, the words that make the most sense. But obviously, you can only get so many characters into a single tag. Sometimes you have to break them up. For example, in my first shop, back when I sold skeleton key necklaces, skeleton key necklace did not fit in a single tag. So where would I break up that term where it would make the most sense? Well, I'm not selling a skeleton, so it wouldn't make sense for me to put skeleton in one tag and then key necklace in another. I would break it up as skeleton key. And then rather than putting necklace by itself as a single word tag, I might add in silver necklace as a tag just so I could get a couple good exact matches, because either way, Etsy's still going to be able to broad match skeleton key and necklace together.
And like silver skeleton key necklace.
Exactly.
It'll do them together first and then separate words after that.
Maybe give some likes to Mark's mustache, Starlet's lovely eyebrows. Anyone? Yes. we need likes for our...
It's one for each cheek when you're smooching.
One for each, yeah, one little tickle.
It's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate. WG imagery.
Gilligan said coffee in chat. Is it because I'm yawning a lot? Last night was one of those nights where I was up like I couldn't. That's just her name now. I couldn't sleep last night at all.
Congrats on your new shop. She started another new shop. She's way more motivated this year than me.
I'm going to change my shop name. What happens to my stats on eRank? Will my listing stats be followed, or will they show up as new listings because the link changes?
All you need to do is go in, and I believe that when you change your shop name, you're not going to lose anything, but I do believe that you might need to go in and disconnect your shop and reconnect it, which you can do from the right-hand settings corner. You know, the little cog icon in the top right. But to be perfectly honest, I think that we maintain your data. I don't think that we get rid of it.
If you want a more specific answer, just hit up eRank support. They're pretty quick.
Yeah, it's just Debbie, Pam, and Irina. They'll
just to make sure don't hit them up before you do anything, just to make sure nothing bad happens.
Yeah, the little blue feedback button in the bottom right-hand corner while you're logged in, or if you email support@erank.com, or if you go into the eRank group on Facebook. Debbie, Pam, and Irina, there are eRank girls. They will answer your question. They're awesome. So just ask one of them, and they should be able to tell you. But I don't think that we get rid of your data. I think that it's just an easy switch, and I think that sometimes if you change your shop name, it does mess with the link. But you should just be able to disconnect it. Do any of the eRank girls in the chat right now? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Pam, Debbie, are you here?
Pam, Debbie.
Anthony, are you here? Are you here riding your... Did you stop riding your kangaroo to stop by?
Anthony loves the kangaroo jokes.
I think he gets annoyed by it. He rides on back of a kangaroo, a Foster's in each hand.
He's used to it by now. Everybody on the... Well, him and Mark are both
I love messing with him. Not me.
Here's the thing.
There's another Mark on the management team for eRank.
We're like some of the only Americans on the team, so we're the minority in the...
Oh yeah, I screw with him. It's just what it is. I've changed my tags at risk of losing the audience for that specific tag. I changed the tag 5 days ago. However, I'm retaining sales from the audience of the tags that I changed. How? Maybe it wasn't that tag that they were finding you for.
Well, if you're seeing that actual keyword combination is still driving you traffic, it's likely just because Etsy hasn't fully recognized that you've removed it, and it might take a while. They
might still just recognize that because it's sold with that term in the past.
Yeah, if it's a tag that you really don't want to be associated with anymore, like you don't want to be found for it, You could always go into your back end and manually renew that listing for 20 cents. I know that I tell you guys, don't do that. Don't do that. But if it's something that you actually need Etsy to recognize, like you've made a major change to your tags and titles, it's okay to do it like once. Just as long as it's, not becoming a habit where you're going in every day and paying the 20 cents to renew all of your listings, because Etsy doesn't like that. But if you've made a major change, Etsy doesn't seem to be recognizing that change right away. You can kind of give them a little nudge and say, hey, pay attention to this.
I got mad when you tapped me because I thought you were telling me not to do something. And
Don't
all
do
I was
that.
doing was scrolling through chat.
They'll do that.
I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but Canva has a color dropper that can also.
Yes.
But that's only within Canva, though, right? You can only do it within images within Canva. Or can it be used outside?
I got the hex codes for Amazon by having Amazon in a completely different browser.
Okay.
And I dropped it. Yeah.
Well, then you don't need me. Look at me, I know it. I'm just messing with you. What's the difference between listing visibility score and listing quality score?
Your visibility score is the sum total of your listing's visibility and how shoppers have been able to find that listing since its creation date. So that's something that you're actually able to see and learn from. Your listing or your visibility score is something that you have to check with eRank, though. That's not an Etsy feature. That's on eRank's end. However, your listing quality score, that's not something that you get to see, but that's what helps you to rank and search. Your listing quality score is almost like your good track record for that listing. Etsy's keeping track of how people are finding that listing, what keywords they're finding it for, if they're favoriting it when they find it, if they're buying it when they find it, if they're leaving good reviews on it. Oh, did they leave a bad review on that listing after they found it? That's going to hurt your listing quality score. Listing quality score is what you can influence to help you rank and search and get found. Your visibility score is how well your listings have been found in the past since they were created. So it is not a score that's easy to influence because it takes a long time to change something, that's backdated since the creation of those listings. However, listing quality score is more of something that you continuously influence in order to help those listings rank higher in search. It's also why sometimes you search for something on Etsy and right on the first page, you get a bunch of listings that have like terrible SEO and you're wondering how the heck are they on page one with really bad SEO? Well, maybe they got shouted out by BuzzFeed and a bunch of people bought that listing and now it doesn't matter that their SEO is bad. Etsy is ranking them high in search because, the keywords aren't the most important thing to Etsy anymore. It's the fact that this listing does well. So Etsy wants to recommend listings that are doing well to more people.
Question: why is it that almost every night at 1 a.m. someone comes to my shop through Etsy search viewing 2 sold out items, almost always the same sold out items? Okay, so more than likely what that is it's somebody who wants to buy that sold out item and they have a change tracker watching it, because there are websites where you can stick a link in, it'll check the link every day to see if it changes, and when it does eventually change, it sends an email or a text message or however they have it set up to them to let them know it's changed. So it's either someone who has already bought the item and the link, I don't know if the links change when something goes sold out. I don't think they do. That's why you can go to a sold out listing. It's either somebody that's already bought it who forgot to turn off their change tracking software or website or whatever they're using, or somebody who wants to buy it who hasn't had the ability to yet.
Yeah, or
more than likely
somebody who's had it favorited as well, who keeps repeatedly going back to it, hoping to purchase it.
Could be somebody who maybe they bought the item from you. They're really cool. They get drunk at 1 a.m. every day, and they're like, "Bro, check this thing I bought every day."
And it might not be that they're coming back at 1 a.m. every single night. It might be that that's when Etsy's showing you the stats. That it might be just when your stats refresh.
But that's why I said it's more than likely a change tracking website, because if it's around the same time every night, then that's probably when the website sends out when it pings it. 1 a.m. sounds about right. It's after midnight. If you're anything like post East Coast, I don't know where you live, but it probably does it at a set time every night. Oh, la 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 la. Do do do. I heard you can put your shop name in the tag, so if someone's looking for your shop stuff, you would pop up. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, but I think it's kind of a waste of a...
How many people are realistically searching for your shop name if if you can't think of any better tags than that.
If people are searching for your shop name specifically, then you're probably popular enough that people have the link to your shop.
Yeah, if you've got the space, it's not going to hurt you. I mean, you can stick it in your tags. You've got 13 tags, so as long as it all fits into a tag, sure.
And this question kind of goes along with it. As an artist, is it worth putting my name in my tags if you're trying to be known for your name?
Sure. Do you think people are going to find you for it? If I were to look at the stats for AlphaDapt, which is the test shop that Amber Marie and I run, we sell alpha merch in that store, but it also allows me to conduct SEO experiments. The number one thing that we're found for in that shop is Starla Moore. People go to Etsy, they type in Starla Moore because they want to see what I'm up to, and they find our shop. And my name is in our tags because of that.
And I said, I've taken my shop views dramatically these last 2 years and have no idea what I'm doing wrong. Honestly, with the way things were during COVID being as big as they were, there's 300 people here. There's probably 100 other people that share the exact same story as you. That's just kind of how it is right now. It's starting to kind of balance out.
We're trending down because there were people who were locked in their houses, bored with stimulus checks, and they spent a lot of money.
Buyers going down, sellers going up. You're here now.
Right. We're finally equaling out because bored people both spend money and get an itch to start a new business. So it got highly competitive. But now all those people who just like, I'm going to start a business. And then they realized, oh, this is hard. I don't like this. Now they're leaving. So we're finally hitting that like part of middle ground where hopefully things equal out. But yeah, over the last 2 years, we had like wonderful COVID traffic of, people who were stuck at home and buying. Now, if you do want to improve your listings and you don't know where to start, like I said, I created, I think 2 weeks ago, a video about like what to do, how to improve your listings that aren't sell, how to fix a listing that isn't selling. Go back and watch that video because it's really short, but it gives you the exact steps in order that you should take to revive a listing that is like dead.
I noticed that I do not get sales if I don't use Etsy ads, but using the ads will only even out and I don't profit from the sales. Do I need to work more on SEO because I'm just starting?
Or is it because I'm just starting?
Or it's because I'm just starting, yeah.
If you are not profiting from sales, then you should not be using Etsy ads, or your items are not priced high enough. You need to make sure that you are making a profit. Otherwise, there is no point in having a business. You need to be profitable, okay? So don't continue paying for ads, or you need to increase your actual item price. So there's that. If you're new, you don't have listing quality scores accumulated yet in order to rank high in search. I do think that you're probably getting quite a bit of benefit from the ads. And yes, if you remove the thing that is driving sales, then you will see a hit in your traffic. But if you're not making money anyway, then what are you really missing out on? So I would dare say that you should start at the bottom and work your way up. I would highly recommend watching the video that I just mentioned about what to do with listings that aren't selling. Even if they are selling right now, but they're only selling because of ads, there are likely other factors playing in that you need to make sure that you're kind of appealing to when it comes to how not just Etsy search works, but how the customer's mind works and the things that are going to appeal to them, because it could be the slightest change, the weirdest little tiny change that could make all the difference for your listings.
Do SEO keywords work for other sites as well? Yes. However, the way that they are used is likely different from site to site.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for your own website, you're going to be primarily optimizing for Google. And unless you're specifically niche, you're not going to be beating out big retail sellers in SEO. But we're not the people to teach you that because we don't do Google SEO, unfortunately.
Yeah. So technically, yeah, you can find great keywords, but it's not as easy. Etsy SEO is easy.
Some SEO, it's not, but
I think it is.
SEO,
hard to Google.
Using what you use on Etsy on your own website is better than not doing anything at all.
Yes.
Because you're still optimizing. The same principles kind of apply, but how Google reads things and how Etsy reads things. Etsy reads things in a way that's convenient for them and their back end. Google is going to be reading from hundreds and hundreds of millions of websites at the same time. So it's a little bit more complicated than Etsy. Did you say it helps SEO to put free shipping or ships free in tags or title? No.
No, because people aren't searching for that.
No, they're not.
They're filtering by that using the Etsy filters.
And most people don't filter when they buy on Etsy, so
yeah, so
we've already tested that.
Yeah, I mean, if you have literally no other tags that you can think of, sure, but people aren't searching for that.
Is making duplicate listings with different tags against Etsy's policy?
Not at all. They wouldn't give you the option. Well, do you mean
they mean the exact same item?
Okay, yeah. So no, not in different shops though. You can, and it's a great way to A/B split test. It's a great way to see how different thumbnails work. However, what I don't recommend doing is making like 5, 6, 7, 8 duplicates of the exact same listing if you're not changing anything about it.
Yeah, don't screw around.
Right. And here's the thing. If I go to your shop and I'm looking at a t-shirt and I'm seeing that same t-shirt listed 6 different times and I can't tell what the difference between all those listings are, I'm not going to buy, because what if I mess up? What if there's some difference that I'm just not able to figure out and I buy the wrong one? So I'm just not going to buy from you. So I would do it for the point of experimentation. If you want to test out, different thumbnails, different tags and titles to try to see what is best for you, go right on ahead. But don't just make, 10 copies of your listing just to make as many listings as possible. That's not a good strategy, nor is it something your customers are going to appreciate.
So your yawning is infectious. I was up till 4 a.m. working on images.
You're so mean to her.
Okay, Gilligan.
We love you. We love you.
Sorry, you're just the one I'm bullying for the next couple of months. Is how it is.
It's because she bought the ugly bean mug, or not the ugly bean. The can't even remember what we called it. Your ugly face mug.
Schmarklo.
Is it possible to have more than one shop connected with eRank?
You have a bunch of shops connected to eRank. We have some people with like 16.
Yeah, top right corner of your eRank account. There should be a little, button up there, and you can click that and add another shop.
Yeah, this person said I changed my shop name recently in eRank tracking stop. I had to add the shop again. That's what I figured. You have to just disconnect your old shop, reconnect it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I've never done it, but
if I offer an optional bundle in my baby blanket listing where you get a matching lovey, should I include tags in my SEO for the lovey or just focus on the blankets? I would focus on the item that you're selling, but it wouldn't hurt at the end of it to put something about it, I guess. It just depends on if you have the space.
Yeah. Are you also gonna list the lovey separately as another listing in your shop? You could keyword optimize that more for the lovey, and then you could even add the blanket to that listing as well as an option where they could add the blanket. So you could have 2 listings, more opportunities, but one is primarily advertising the blanket, one is primarily advertising the lovey, but both will result in being able to purchase both in the variation section. So yes.
If I track a shop on eRank, are they notified? Yeah, we send them a wax sealed letter, like in Elder Scrolls with the like Death Guild, where it says we're watching you.
With an owl, it delivers it.
No, we don't notify them.
No, we would never do that.
No,
that is completely private and secret, and thank God it is, because
Assassin's Guild, not Death Guild.
I track like a bunch of my students just so I have like things in my shop to track. And I'm sure some of you would probably pee your pants if you got a notification that Starla was keeping an eye on you.
Yeah, we don't do that. Not until we're legally required to, and we'll probably get rid of the tool when they make us do that.
Yeah, that would be uncomfortable.
What punctuation can touch your keywords without messing up your SEO?
You can use any punctuation.
Yeah, punctuation doesn't really mess it up. I would say that a hyphen might, because hyphens are usually delimiters that are used to separate words within machines. So I wouldn't use hyphens. The hyphens are going to be read like spaces, and that's what they're meant to be used as anyway. They're connecting spaces. So
commas are fine. Forward slashes are fine.
Slashes also might be considered a delimiter too.
Forwards, I always used forward slashes. That's always been my strategy, is forward slashes. And
most of them should be fine.
So yeah.
I've been using it in Canva Pro, but it shows ones that I don't look the same. Do I have Pro? And I do have Pro.
I've had that happen. I've had it be wrong before for some reason. It's like way off, but just message Canva support if you have Pro and say, hey, the color hex code generator is not working in the eyedropper tool. Have them look into it.
Can we center Bubber's Tower between Mark and Starla, or would that be in the way for you guys? It would not be in the way, but we use the light back here, and the light would blind Bubbers because this is an actual like
Stage light.
This is a stage light. It's the kind that's meant to be mounted like above. And without that light back there, it looks terrible. I don't have my cables hooked up to be able to redo it quickly, or I would show you. But the difference between having this color in this background and not having it, it completely removes the like the 3D feeling of the video and makes it look like crap. So I will not.
He also won't lay up there if he's uncomfortable. If the lights
he'll
on
just
him.
sit up there, and then again, he sits right in front of the light and just stares into it for some reason.
But right now he's pointed in the opposite direction.
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
No.
My message response rate is 100%. The customers are happy with my customer service. I'll help them even when I'm sleeping at night, but my customer service rating is 3.4 stars. Why this happens? Have you ever had is there like a thumbs down, thumbs up system when you're done chatting with somebody on Etsy? How long has it been since you've chatted with someone on Etsy?
Alpha App Shop, not too long ago. I have no idea. That sounds like a question for Etsy.
If there's a customer service rating, then there's a way to rate you during or after your chat. There has to be, or there wouldn't be a rating.
I believe that it's when they leave a review that on mobile they have not just the star rating, but you can rate your. Here, I'll just pull it up. I've got an item that I haven't reviewed yet.
Okay, yeah, pull it up.
And maybe they're clicking something there. So let me go into my purchases.
If so, then you need to nab the swipe files because that'll help you nail that down too.
Let me find. Okay, I'll click. Okay, so you get 3 options on mobile. You get your overall. So I already did overall, but then you get taken to a page for item quality, shipping, seller customer service. That's your third option.
Which means somebody has rated you less than 5 stars.
Yeah.
Probably more. It's either more than 1 or you had one person rate you 1 star just because they were stupid and didn't have any conversations with you, so they're like, oh well, there was no communication, so I'll just put 1 star.
Yeah.
So swipe files.
Yeah. Alphasugar.com, ALPHASUGAR.com. Those can help dramatically to increase your rate of good reviews, which also helps your listing quality score, which helps your search placement and helps you to get more traffic on Etsy. So everybody can get that for free. Alphasugar.com. Highly recommend you grab those.
Can I work with you? I can do a remote job. What could you possibly offer that we would need you to do remotely?
Not to be rude, but we're good.
It's a spam. I know. I'm just.
We good.
I think we're okay.
We good. We're fully managed.
We're at an hour, so we'll go ahead and move to other questions too. For the first time ever, an item was received damaged. I'm sending it to her again, totally at my cost. Is there a way to get a shipping label with the Etsy discount to resend it to her?
If it's already passed, you can go in and try to purchase another one, but I believe that you only have like 30 days to do that, to purchase more than one. So if the option is there, cool. If not, go to Pirate Ship and you can get a pretty good discount on labels. They're pretty cheap over at Pirate Ship, but you won't be able to order another one from Etsy unless, it's been within their little window.
2 people responding. I'm working remotely. I can get coffee. We need someone to bring us coffee. We need someone who's good at massages, preferably a small, angry Asian lady that can walk on my back.
He really, really wants to have like a person that will.
I want a sassy older lady to walk on my back to tell me what to do.
He loves getting yelled at by old ladies. I think that
I think we've learned the definition of the word fetish today.
I think we have.
I have a digital shop and I want to start making those products as physical. Is it best to start a new store, keep them all in one place? Not sure if it'll mess with the SEO if I keep them together.
It's not going to mess with the SEO.
It's not, but I honestly would put it in a different shop. We have a lot of sellers that do mock-ups and things, and then they take the mock-ups that they don't necessarily like keeping, or maybe they really like certain mock-ups and they want to put them on a shirt.
I know what you sell, though. So I dare say that it might be beneficial to have why don't you experiment with it? Why don't you add a couple physical products into your shop? Because she does like cake toppers and things like that. I would dare say that it would be, a a great way to have customers find your overall storefront and be able to find both options. There's really no right or wrong. Experiment with it, because starting a new shop is obviously kind of a pain. But you could have, you know, your digital shop, but brand a new shop exactly the same, and then just have the physical items there. So
Yeah. So many people responding to my last comment. It's pretty funny.
because it was an awful comment.
Somebody said you need a Russian lady then. Yes, a little babushka.
He really,
that's what I need. I need a little babushka with the she's curled over with the hood up that'll whack me with a newspaper when I do something stupid.
He really he just wants a grandma. Honestly, what he wants,
an angry one. Mine's just a nice hippie.
Yeah, he wants, if any of you are angry grandmas that are willing to come over and hit him when he's not working and when he's drifting off and not paying attention,
which is pretty much always.
That's the type of employee that we're looking for right now. Actually, we need, yes,
angry grandma.
An angry grandma.
There's 312 of you here, and we know our demographics. I know there's at least one angry grandma in the chat. Where you at?
Yeah.
Do you need new listings every day in order to increase visibility? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Not only is that a strategy that is not valid, it is also not maintainable. You will not be able to forever create a new listing every single day. I know that there are a lot of gurus who tell you to do that, but look at who those gurus are. They are those make money quick, make money easy, make money in 5 days, make $1,000 a day on it. Like, those are what I call like the bro coaches, where they don't care about the product that they're outputting. All they care is that they have money coming in. And if that's the type of business you want to run, cool beans, that's fine. However, you're not going to get a lot of repeat customers. You're not going to build good customer relationships. You're not going to get the best reviews. You're not going to be able to narrow your focus on an ideal target audience, which means that when somebody enters your shop, they're going to look at what you have and they're going to say to themselves, what is this shop all about? I don't know. I'm not really getting a lot of feelings here. I'm going to go find somebody that specializes in what I'm interested in. So do you need to add listings every day? No. Is it a good strategy? I personally don't think so. Can you afford to have a lot of listings in your shop? Sure. If you're selling things like stickers, you need a lot of listings. If you're selling things like beads, handmade beads, you need to have a lot of listings in your shop. If you're selling, any type of supply to make something, you need to have a lot of listings. If you're selling $10,000 gold and diamond engagement rings that you smith yourself by hand, and you're trying to advertise that you make all of your beautiful premium engagement rings in your own studio with your own bare hands, and I go into your shop and see that there are 1,000 listings in there, I'm not going to believe you made those by hand. Now, if I go into your shop and you have 20 listings, I'm going to buy from you because I trust that you are an expert in your craft. So there's a lot of context here, okay? If you make a cheaper, smaller, easier product, sure, have a bunch of listings. But if you are making something that takes a lot of time and effort, I would definitely consider having less than that, because it doesn't make you look like a skilled crafter when you have 6,000 of something. I'm just going to think that you bought them and are reselling them.
How can I put an internal link in the description showing someone another listing from the listing they're looking at without all the long code of the link? Bitly.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if Bitly links are going to work within Etsy. I know Etsy links to Etsy listings will work. Some of that code can be removed, but I would have to see the specific string of code. What I would recommend looking for is breaks in the code, like forward slashes. Try little by little, deleting little pieces of the code out at a time until you can get a shortest piece of version of that code that still leads to that listing. I hope that makes sense, but just delete little bits by bits, because some of that is going to be, context specific, depending on, did you go into one of your sections to find that listing and then click on the listing from the section? Well, then there's going to be a section ID in that little string of code on your URL. So you don't need all that. That can be removed. If you know how to read, URLs already, it can be easy to kind of figure out what you need to remove in order to still make that link work. If you don't, Like I said, look for little divides like forward slashes and things in that little string of code and remove bits and bits little by little until you have the shortest version that still brings you to the listing that you want. I don't know if bit.ly links work in Etsy listings. I don't know if they're clickable.
Found the angry grandma.
Oh, did she?
Paula said, Paula Gusinov, sorry, but too much personal life chat, not enough information. Bye. Bye, Paula.
Bye, Paula. Paula, what are we talking about in our personal lives? We've done nothing but nonstop to cover the topic.
Sounds like you need to get laid.
Don't say things like that on chat.
It's a joke. Calm down. Jesus Christ. It was acceptable on TV 30 years ago. Let's see.
That does not say anything for today, Mr.
Oh, I don't
Moore.
care.
Either way,
It's
guys.
my channel. I don't care.
If you guys want specific topics, ask specific questions.
We talked for like 45 minutes before even making any jokes. Chill, bro.
He's spicy today.
I am spicy today.
He's a spicy pepper.
There's a ton of I want to start a business, but they take the easy route and saturate the market some more. That's exactly.
Exactly.
Sorry.
And those are the ones who end up not being around very long.
Sorry, Paula. It's all Mark's fault. Yeah, it's my fault.
It's all.
God forbid we don't talk for an hour and a half straight about topics specifically.
Oh, no, we have lives. We're people. We're real.
Yeah, we're real. We like to not die. Anyway, as an artist who markets my name is the brand, I tend to choose a few listings to add my name and shop name if someone knows I'm on there but cannot remember how to spell my name or something. But I'm also looking for a new audience on the Etsy marketplace, so I think people who are already connected to me would find me through a direct link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're getting two different sources of traffic. Your external, people who are knowing how to access your shop directly, but then your new market that people are just kind of finding you organically through search. Right,
boring and no real life with personality in these sessions. Exactly. That's all we're allowed to have. Otherwise, people get pissed.
Robotic. Don't curse.
That wasn't a curse word. As a matter of fact, YouTube just made that acceptable 2 days ago.
They did?
Yeah, they did. As well as damn and hell. Those are both non-demonetizing terms now.
Well, yeah, but what if there are littles watching?
It's PG now.
It is. Well, yeah, we're actually.
And now YouTube considers it PG. Anyway, we're getting off topic. And we don't want to make anybody mad. Is regularly duplicating listings and changing tags on these listings a good strategy?
No. Not what would make it a good strategy? If you're split testing to see what works and you're actually studying the data, looking at the traffic, seeing what keywords brought traffic to your listings, which you can do from your Etsy Search Analytics beta. If you go into the marketing tab in your Etsy dashboard and click on that, you'll see a little thing that says Search Analytics and then a little tag beside it that says beta. You can click on that and see which keywords were bringing traffic to your listing. That would be a good strategy, but I wouldn't just duplicate a bunch of listings for the sake of having as many listings in your shop as possible. There's no real reason to do that.
Oh, people are loving spicy, Mark. What is the connection from using SEO on Pinterest, which takes you directly to your Etsy shop listing? Using SEO on Pinterest will not affect your SEO in Etsy specifically.
Yeah, if you're talking about backlinking, and you're wanting to build good backlinks, for websites, backlinking is very important, but we found through recent years that backlinking, when it comes to Etsy, it's really not anything that Etsy even says has any significance, aside from the traffic that you're bringing just by having a good, optimized pin, which, Pinterest has its own set of Etsy SEO, or Etsy SEO has its own set of SEO title, description, and alt text are all things that can help your pins get found. Those are obviously separate from Etsy, but the actual traffic that you get from the click from Pinterest to your Etsy shop, I don't think has any impact because you sent that traffic externally. Now, if they make a purchase or, they make a purchase and then they leave a review after they make that purchase, the purchase itself helps and the review helps. But the fact that they found you through a Pinterest link, Etsy doesn't give us anything that says that it helps. So if it does, it's not something that Etsy even shares with us.
Is it necessary to post new listings every day for the first few months? No.
No, we kind of covered that a few minutes ago, I think.
That's a slightly different question, but no.
No.
eRank question, where it says you have sold more items than X% of shops. What is the time frame this is referring to, please? This year, all time, this week?
All time.
All time, I believe, yeah.
It is all time. We often get questions where people say, like, this doesn't seem possible. I haven't made that many sales. You also have to consider how many sellers there are on Etsy.
5.5 million active.
How many sellers, have never sold anything? How many sellers have only sold like one thing? How many sellers have started a shop and then just abandoned ship? There are a lot of factors that play in. So,
is it better to change information in title and tags, or just redo it and make a new listing for the same product? If it's sold, then you want to keep the same listing.
Yeah, keep the same listing because it has a little bit of history. It's accumulated a little bit of traction. Etsy's kind of built trust for that listing, and they understand what it is. And even if you're just tinkering with it a little bit, now if you wanted to make a copy of it, you totally could. Or if you wanted to start a new listing from scratch, you totally could. But if you're just making changes to that listing, I would keep the same listing as long as the product itself is the same. Now, if it's a totally different product, I would definitely recommend creating a brand new listing.
How many times do you repeat the keywords? Example, DIY kit, do it yourself, or needle felting kit.
So in your title, you don't need to repeat them at all. And in your tags, you don't need to repeat them at all, unless you are really, really aiming for an exact match because so for example, you said DIY kit, do it yourself, or needle felting kit. So DIY kit and needle felting kit. Technically, you do not need to repeat the term kit. Now DIY and do it yourself
are two different things.
Those are two different things. Etsy's going to see those differently. I would use both of those, but DIY kit and needle felting kit, you technically don't need to use the term kit twice. However, if you want to exact match for those terms, because those are really, really what your listing are all about, and you really want people to find you for those terms, it's not going to hurt you to repeat those keywords.
Yeah. Does not using all images affect your SEO? Images do not affect your SEO in any capacity on Etsy by itself.
Aside from alt text, which you can add to each of your photos.
Which is still just like...
It's a little bitty. A little bitty.
It's a pinch.
Yeah, just a tiny little impact. Not a lot.
Is it necessary to post new listings every day for the first... We already read that. No, it's not. I'm back. Who's the alien? That's our son.
Oh, that's Roswell. And I don't know who are his babies. We've got two babies back there as well.
Pringle and
Dingle.
And Dangle.
Pringle and Dangle.
Pringle and Dingle. Dingle has to stay in the spaceship for obvious reasons. His name's Dingle. You okay?
Carry.
You need Miss Swan? Yes.
Oh,
that way she can tell me whether I look like a man.
Oh my God.
How many Etsy shops are you allowed to own? Probably literally as many as you want, but
why would
more than you can probably actually manage on your own. That's the answer.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a limit, but I would limit yourself.
What does it mean when you search a term on eRank and it says data is unknown? Is it that no one is searching the term, or is that exact term hasn't been researched at all? So the way that data works on eRank is it's panels of information taken from various sources, right?
Millions and millions of shoppers.
Millions and millions of shoppers. And not all terms are going to come through all of the time. So we don't have 100% of the data coming from Etsy, and anybody that claims they're getting their data directly from Etsy is lying.
Right. Some tools rely on Etsy's API, which is why sometimes eRank doesn't work for some tools when Etsy's API gets messed up.
Right. Sometimes it's not on eRank's end, it's on Etsy's end.
Right.
But the data is purchased.
The keyword data.
The data is purchased for exorbitant amounts of money.
God, yes.
Like down payment on a new house levels of money. Every month for the prior month. And that's how that works. So if it says that it's unknown, that means we don't have data for it. It could be that nobody's searching for it. More than likely, it's that
there's just a gap.
Yeah, there's a gap in the data, which happens from time to time. It's unfortunate, but that's how it is. I can't do exact numbers, but like multiple 5 figures a month are being spent on data on eRank. So it would cost hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to be able to
Well,
get just about everything.
yeah, and you also have to consider, that just because eRank is saying that we don't have data on sometimes it's like an oddball term that we don't have data on because nobody in the millions and millions of people paneled or searching for that specific thing. That doesn't mean that nobody's searching for it, but that's a great way to find and experiment with little keywords that, if everybody is, trying to sell the same thing that you are, and they're all using eRank and they're researching that term and they find that same gap in the data and they don't know how eRank works, and then they assume that that's not a good keyword because the data is unknown. Maybe it's not a bad keyword. Maybe it's a good keyword that we just don't have data on.
Exactly.
What if you're the only person who starts using that keyword and you end up getting a bunch of traffic because people are searching for it? They're just none within our data panel.
There you go.
So, feel free to experiment and test. Just know that if the keyword is, experiment with how you worded the keyword. If nobody is searching for chunky knit blanket, then maybe narrow down and just search for knit blanket.
And you never know what specifically you are typing for, because we work for eRank. I've seen some pretty fringe stuff typed in that people are trying to rank for.
Starla just glitched. What's wrong, girl? What'd I do? Oh, my laughing.
A lot of people offering to be the angry granny.
Aw, look at all our angry grannies.
I'm confused about long tail keywords.
Yeah.
Why is it not ranked high in search if you put two high ranking words together?
Okay, so keywords are not the only thing that contribute to rank. You could go to Etsy right now and find the top performing seller, Planner Kate. You could find her, top performing listings. It is on page 1 of every search result. There are a lot of other factors that play into that. It's not just keywords. Keywords are only one part of the equation, and they're not a huge part of the equation. In fact, listing quality score, I dare say, is more significant. And as I've said multiple times during the stream, down below is my free Science of Etsy Success workshop. That's going to teach you how Etsy's algorithm works, and it's going to teach you about all of the factors. There's 7 of them that you can influence that contribute to rank. Keywords are just one of those. So I highly recommend signing up for that. It's free. You can watch it whenever you want. It's on demand. Watch that. But long tail keywords, because you're compounding 2 highly searched terms together in order to rank for 2 highly searched terms, when you put them together, that doesn't mean that people are searching for that compounded term. You have to think about the human aspect as well. Not everything is a computer reading things. The primary people, or the primary purpose of you putting those keywords into your listings is so that real humans who are searching are going to find them. So you have to get in the head of how your shoppers are actually searching for things. So yeah.
We're getting towards the end of the stream, and you're starting to get brain fogged a little bit.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
What do you do when you're struggling with brainstorming new keywords? If it were me, I would walk away, do something else, go wash the dishes, take a shower, something that forces you to think while you're doing mindless tasks, and you can think about it while you're doing that kind of thing.
Or
that works for me.
Or post a photo of your product down in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community and ask, we've got like a lot, like over 10,000. I can't even remember, like 20, what is it, 20,000 now? I don't know.
I don't even know.
We got a bunch. But
there's a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
Few thousand.
Post a photo and ask people, how would you describe this product? And see, because they can give you some really good ideas. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention that today's charity is for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So please
raised $100 already.
Yeah, please consider donating to that. We did St. Jude's for all through the holidays. I figured that we would switch it up this week. I forgot to add a charity to last week's live stream. So feel free to donate, and maybe we'll do this one for a couple weeks. And I did request that they add the Wolf Conservation Center of South Salem, New York.
Oh, okay.
I put in an actual personal request to YouTube to add that one because we've been donating to them for years, so I would like to be able to do.
Yeah, if we had just had a direct resource, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Tuning in late, so apologies if this was asked. If you're a year plus into selling on Etsy and you need to access keywords, where do you look? Etsy Search Analytics and eRank?
Both. So Etsy Search Analytics beta is going to show you what you're being found for. You can double check those terms in eRank, but obviously eRank is the one that we're going to recommend the most because I'm a manager. He's a manager. But we don't just recommend it because were managers, I've been using eRank for over 5 years, long before I was ever a manager at eRank. And the reason that I use it is because the data is reliable. I love that it is ethically sourced, which means that it isn't skimmed from unsuspecting people. You know, it's purchased from very ethical data providers. And a lot of the tools come direct from Etsy's API. So they're from Etsy directly. And we're one of Etsy's approved integrations. If you go into your Etsy, you know, dashboard and there's like the little tabs on the side and you can look at the different integrations, eRank is one of the Etsy approved integrations. So that's personally why I love and trust eRank, but the data is fantastic. Yes, we do have gaps in the data, as any SEO company will. But I would definitely pair eRank with the data that you're already getting from real shoppers who are shopping within your store, because then you can come up with kind of like your own little winning formulas that are going to be way better than anything your competitors can, you know, come up with.
If you have clothing, should there be different listings for each color of the same item?
We've kind of answered this in several different ways.
You can, or you can do variations. It's up to you. It doesn't matter either way.
Yeah. More listings is more opportunities to be found in search, but at the same time, you know, you can always add different variations so that they can buy all of the colors, but it's really just the thumbnail that's changing per listing. That's an option as well.
You can delete the code after ? To shorten the Etsy link?
Yeah, some of it. You just have to, like I said, be very careful and kind of go little by little and see which piece of code can be safely deleted.
Yeah. Just copy it and paste it. Make sure it works for you.
Oh yeah, it's always,
when you're done, just copy and paste it.
Always test it first.
Yeah, paste it before you make edits to it. That way you don't lose it. You have to keep refreshing, and it's a pain in the butt.
Oh my God, I've died.
People love the spicy sometimes, man. I'm telling you.
You're a spicy pepper.
I am a spicy pepper.
We're going to be streaming on Twitch tonight, by the way.
Are we? I forgot.
Oh, do you not want to?
No, I do. I'm just really tired.
Oh, okay.
I just forgot. Why am I bringing more views than Etsy? Is it because I'm in the beginning, or is it just an SEO bad optimization?
So there's no real way for me to know to answer that. There's a lot of things. If you're promoting a lot on social media, that might be it. If your SEO isn't great and you're driving more traffic than you are getting through SEO, you know, that could be an option as well. It could just be because you're new and, you know, Etsy hasn't figured out what it is that you want to be known for. There's a lot of different factors, but if you're just starting out, I wouldn't obsess over those stats too much. I would give yourself a little bit more time on the platform, because Etsy needs time to really figure out what it is that you're trying to sell, what you want to be known for. Yeah.
Tina said angry grandma because you skipped my question. I haven't seen it. I do them in order. Like I scroll down through and do them in order. So I might just not have gotten to it yet.
However, if you use the word Instagram, then Instagram is blocked from our chat because we get bots that are like, get your Instagram hacks, get your Instagram account back if you've been hacked, and it's constant. So I just block the word Instagram.
Yeah, usually after an hour we come alive and the tone goes from work to fun. That's how we try to do it. We try to keep it serious for at least the first 45 minutes and then loosen. We have to. Imagine like being in a work meeting and having to talk for an hour and a half straight and be serious the whole time, and how drained you are by the end of it.
Here's the thing. We've been here like every Friday for over an hour.
This is free.
for like 5 years now. So you guys get us. If you want us to be fake, or if you want people who are fake and smiley all the time,
go somewhere else.
Like, if that's the type of energy you want, that's cool. That's cool. That's not.
I come here and do these live streams after the bake sale I do at the church. That's not us. You already asked that. Hi, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
Only the millennials will get that. I lost my star seller because buyer texted and I responded within 3 minutes, but did it via message buyer instead of replying right from her text, and Etsy did not recognize it. Said they would fix it, but haven't.
Yep, that's Etsy for you.
That'll be how it is.
Don't worry too much about it. Your star seller doesn't have any impact on your rank or
Star
search
seller,
placement.
as of right now, means nothing. Don't worry about it.
It's a vanity metric. It's a pretty little sticker on your t-shirt.
It's an Xbox achievement.
Yeah, it's supposed to make you feel good.
Should I deactivate my Christmas listings so they're not just hanging out there all year, reactivate them? We kind of answered that already.
Yeah, it's up to you, Marina. It doesn't matter. It's if you're not, I mean, you're not going to be selling them until like July anyway. So if you want to, go ahead.
Sorry, this is off topic from Norway, so disregard typos, please. If you're just for future reference, because there's like 300 of you here, I'm sure there's a few of you here that have poor English. We will try to piece together your questions regardless of how bad your English is. We don't discriminate. Just don't get upset at us if we do not understand what you're saying.
Yeah, we'll usually ask you to reiterate if we can't understand.
We'll try.
We know that our audience is all.
And if you have a hard time typing in English, just pop open Google Translate, type in your language, have it translate, and paste it here if it's that bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's totally fine either way. We'll do our best. If you sell pillows and you want to sell pillow with personalizations, would you sell them in one ad or two separate ads?
So one listing or two separate listings. You could just give them the option in your Etsy variations to add the personalization. If you want to sell a version that doesn't include the personalization, but maybe you want to charge a little extra money for the listing that includes the personalization, you can do that all within one listing. Or if you want to, you can create two separate listings. It really doesn't matter. You can make one for the personalized version and one for the non-personalized version, or you can have two listings, one for the unpersonalized version, but you can also pay for the personalization within that listing. And then maybe you have a listing for the personalized version, but they could also pay a little less by opting in to get the version that isn't personalized. So it's almost like they both connect to each other.
Question, I've sold out listing that people are continuing to view it. How are they still able to find the listing aside from the sold item section? Probably just from the link that they used when their favorites. Their favorites. You can still go to a listing even after it's deactivated. I think when something has
pinned on Pinterest.
Well, yeah, but I think if something has sold, they legally have to like maintain it there so people can reference back to it for legal purposes and that kind of stuff. There's any number of reasons why.
My first shop, it's going on 2 years now.
We still have people view and ask about listings.
Yeah. I get listings. My shop has been like on standby for 2 years, and I still have people who say, when's this gonna be back in stock?
All right, I'm gonna go down to Christy Danielson's comment down here. That'll put us at the end of the stream.
Got it.
Avocado. Dingle dangle. If your name is Dingle, you have to stay in the spaceship.
That's a law.
That's exactly right.
That's a rule.
That's exactly right. I thought one of the aliens was Avocado. Did I make that up or did the Matrix glitch? I think you did name him Avocado.
No, we have an avocado.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm seeing a lot more sales from outside the US where I live. Does that mean my SEO ranking is starting to kick in? My oldest listings are 60 days old.
So your SEO, you're always ranking. You're always ranking. I'm assuming you mean is your like 30 to 60 day window, is Etsy starting to categorize you? If you're getting traffic from the country that you're in, that just means that one of those factors that I talked about, the 7 factors that Etsy uses in order to rank your listings in search, one of those is location. So Etsy is more likely to show your listings to people who live closer to you. It's just one of the things that Etsy uses in order to better match their products to customers. It doesn't mean that you hit like a time frame. It's not like Etsy's keeping a timer and they're like, yes, today is the day that we're going to start showing our listings to people. Because tomorrow, you might not get any views. Etsy's just moving you around right now. They're moving your listing. They're showing it to all different people. Maybe they're going to show it to your country, and then tomorrow they're going to show it to a different country. There's no real way to answer that question, but if they're 60 days old, technically Etsy might still be moving them around. There's just no way to really tell this early.
Should I add more of the same product that's getting views, or just more of the same product that is actually selling?
Like the same
I think that's what
type of product?
The exact same product, I'm assuming.
Got it. Well, views, Views don't really mean a whole lot. Don't obsess over your
sales are what matter.
Yeah, don't obsess over your views. Views are a good indicator that people are finding that listing. That's a good thing. It's good to know that people are able to discover it. But sales are really, really what matter. And sales are your customers telling you what they like. So if you can create more of what they like, odds are you'll start selling more things similar. So yeah, that's great though.
Lori said, I love the sarcasm. We grew up in the 90s. Sarcasm is our bread and butter.
We're from Ohio. Aren't we the state that curses the most?
We curse too much. Sarcasm in every sentence. The F word is an accent word.
It's a sentence and a half.
If you go back to our really early streams, I had a really hard time censoring myself because it's just
he was in the military. He had just gotten out of the military.
It's just a normal part of conversation, both in the military and just being from the Midwest. We just curse a lot. So
he had to train himself not to use
They still slip here from time to time. Every once in a while, I'll throw one out and I'll be like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. Join us tonight on Twitch, though, because
I curse a lot.
I was going to say, we don't censor ourselves on Twitch.
Made an Etsy store for my leather crafting business, getting lots of views and favorites, but no purchases. Any advice? I looked at the people that have favorited my items, and they're my target audience.
That's awesome, but it's January. People aren't really doing a lot of shopping right now. Etsy isn't. You usually don't see a lot of people shopping on Etsy around this time of year. When did you make your store? If you just created your store, then it's going to take a while. It tends to take a little while to make those sales. But I would also, after 90 days have passed, if you still haven't made any traction at all, you haven't made any sales, you might want to rethink things like how your photos are taken. That photos can make all the difference. So I've mentioned it a couple times during this stream, but 2 or 3 weeks ago on my channel, I created a video that is called something like how to make an Etsy listing to sell, how to get a listing to sell, something like that. Watch that video because it will explain in order the exact steps that I would take in order to help revive a listing that isn't selling. So, and it's a short video. I think it's only like 8 minutes long, something like that.
Hashtag free dingle.
No.
Aren't they always free? Don't feel like they're very hard to find.
I paid a premium for mine.
That's right. Still do. How does the area under the shop name affect SEO? I'm expanding my offerings and thinking to update that description. Yeah,
your shop, but your tagline, add some keywords in there. You should absolutely add what you want to be known for. Same with your social media, your nameplate on Instagram where it says to enter your name. Don't just enter your name. And don't just put your business name. Put what you do. What do you want to be known for? These little taglines are all sending positive signals to Etsy that say what you want to be known for. If you're trying to optimize for digital party supplies, you want to make sure that you put digital party supplies in that tagline, in your listings, on your social media, because that's what you want these algorithms to identify, your shop as wanting to be known for.
Why are SEO stats never available for direct visit? Is because they came to you via link or something? I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't remember offhand where that traffic comes from. It's not an uncommon question. I've heard it multiple times. But because I tend to prefer Google Analytics over Etsy's stats, I focus more on Google Analytics data and what that's telling me. And I do that all from eRank. As long as you've got Google Analytics connected, you can connect your Google Analytics account to your eRank account, and then eRank will tell you where all of that traffic's coming from. So you never have to log into Google Analytics and try to understand their hieroglyphs of mumbo jumbo tech speak. eRank kind of just regurgitates it to you in plain stinking English, as I like to call it.
Is there a resource for someone new to using eRank?
Yeah. There's tons of resources. It just depends on what you want to know. First of all, we've got our beginner's guide, which I believe right when you log in and you're on the dashboard, you should have little buttons. I think that you can access the beginner's guide. You can go to erank.com/blog for a bunch of our blog posts. Every single tool has a help button that you can click, and it's going to tell you exactly how, each of those tools work. There are little orange question marks all over eRank that are going to show you, what each thing means. But I do recommend starting with my Science of Etsy Success workshop. Like I said, that's linked down below. That's free. Sign up for that. watch that webinar. And then under the webinar, there are a bunch of different resources. I've got a how to do Etsy SEO in 12-minute tutorial link to that as well. That video is going to be very helpful because it's going to teach you how to keyword optimize your listings in 12 minutes. In terms of like a full like crash course on how to use eRank, no, because everybody's going to have a different goal in using the tools. It's just identifying what tool you want to learn how to do or how to use. Keyword tools should be number one. And you know, then anything else you can learn slowly.
Okay, lightning round.
Okay.
I do digital downloads, SVG. Is it okay to use tags without SVG or file attached? Also, if my title says example lion SVG.
Every word that you've got in your title should technically also be in your tags. If that's what you want to be known for. If you can fit it there, yeah. Yeah, if that's what you want to be known for, you want to be known for SVGs. You need to tell Etsy over and over again that you want to be known for SVGs. Now, you don't need to repeat SVG like a bunch of times in your tags. You only need it down there once, nor do you need to repeat it in your title. You only technically need it up there once. But you should definitely be using those terms frequently in both places.
I sold a one-of-a-kind t-shirt. It's marked sold, but after a year and a half, I still have high views on. I don't get why any solution. You might have had an ad that you put out, something on social media, might have got shared somewhere. Who knows?
People have
I wouldn't worry about it. It's not hurting you to get views.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Long tail keywords and short tail keywords, question mark?
What about them?
What specifically? Are you just wanting to know what they are?
Well, short tail keywords aren't, that's not really a word. Long tail keywords are, they're going to be searched less. They're terms that are searched less. They're usually a little bit longer, but they point to a very specific type of product. For example, you know, it would be the difference between bottle opener versus engraved wooden handle or wooden handle engraved bottle opener. Wooden engraved bottle opener. You know, that is a long tail keyword. Bottle opener is a head keyword, a short keyword. It's non-descriptive. It doesn't tell me what specifically type of bottle opener this is. It's not going to target a very specific type of person, and there's not as much purchase intent. However, if I'm labeling this as an engraved wooden bottle opener, I'm more likely to appeal to the type of person who is searching for a wooden engraved bottle opener. So long tail keywords are what you want to aim for when optimizing your listings.
This was the last question anyway before her comment. I know this is off topic, so it's okay if you don't want to get into it, but Mark, have you ever considered doing an educational series on Premiere Pro? I would pay for that.
I mainly edit the videos.
Not even remotely true. I do all of the color editing and the audio editing. You discredit me so much on all of the work, and I do all of the hard stuff. Anyway,
the part that they would never recognize, though, unless it wasn't there.
Either way, and you wouldn't know how to do that if it wasn't for me anyway. No, strictly because I don't wanna. I hate Premiere Pro. It is the most non-user friendly, unintuitive, unoptimized, crappy software I've ever used in my life. It is just still the best option on Windows when you're working with high bit rate 4K, high color definition video. It's the most convenient. Also, it's kind of a rite of passage to have to go through YouTube videos of extremely slow talking British people and extremely specific Indian men. So that's what you're going to have to do is get on YouTube when you have one specific thing you've got to watch a 15-minute long video on. Oh, and I wasn't being spicy. I was messing with her. Don't. That's how. That's how I play. I wasn't being spicy.
A couple of people had also mentioned
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh. I do want to give a quick disclaimer.
Please talk about that.
Yeah. So real quick, we are done answering questions. I know a couple of you guys got cut off, but we do have to we have to like eat lunch and stuff.
Yeah.
But we will be back. We're here every Friday.
Yeah. And we'll be on Twitch tonight. I'll get the Twitch.
But I do want to address my video this week. I made a video about copyright and specifically infringement. And, you know, a bunch of people were like, you said copyright when you meant trademark. Both.
It's both, dog.
Winnie the Pooh, for example, you know, that is going to be both, you know, or we'll say Mickey Mouse because Winnie the Pooh, you guys are saying public domain. Mickey Mouse. The words Mickey Mouse, you can't use those.
No.
But the image of Mickey Mouse, you can't use that either. Copyright are the words. Trademark is the image. Okay. So that's the difference between those. That's why in the majority of the video, I interchange those terms, but I also use the word intellectual property.
Yes.
But I used a combination of the words more as a psychology thing. That way people who didn't understand one or the other would still get their fill and understand what I was talking about. But to the point. That video was about a couple who has repeatedly been warned, who they run a handmade business. They have been told multiple times by Disney to stop making Disney products, and they didn't, and now they're getting sued. And they're still continuing to sell the product. So the video was covering some of the rules and trying to build an understanding of what you can and cannot do. Now, I have had so many people come to me because I use Blood and Honey as an example. It is a horror adaptation of Winnie the Pooh that's releasing in February.
They screwed up a little bit.
They did.
Just a little bit, but
Now,
it'll probably be fine.
A lot of people have said, oh, that's in the public domain now. Winnie the Pooh's in the public domain. That's why they made that movie. Yes.
It is. However, they used a red shirt.
The red shirt automatically builds the association with Disney version or Disney's version of Winnie the Pooh. Therefore, it is writing the line on that on copyright. Now,
we're gonna have to see it to know whether or not it was actually an infringement, because wearing a red shirt as a person,
right,
you know,
exactly.
It's, again, that's why we say it's a line.
But you guys, I've had several questions, people asking about public domain, yada yada. You now can make Winnie the Pooh products, but there are a couple disclaimers on that. First of all, no red shirt. The bear has to be naked. He has to look like the original art from Winnie the Pooh, okay? Second, Disney doesn't care what's legal. If they can get Etsy to take your listing down, they will, and Etsy won't listen to your voices of reason.
No, Etsy isn't going to back you. Their lawyers aren't as good as Disney's.
Etsy isn't going to care. Etsy's going to say, you know what? To avoid trouble, we're just going to take this listing down, and they will. And a lot of people make Alice in Wonderland products, and those seem to be more, you know, those are okay as long as they don't look like the Tim Burton version or the old original Disney cartoon version, as long as they are from like the original Alice in Wonderland, or they're your own versions of the characters.
If you're on the fence about whether or not you can use something, then you're probably not in a state where you're educated enough about the subject to be using it. Because you really educate yourself on this kind of stuff, because it's a screw. You only get one shot at that.
Yeah, just keep in mind that, you know, getting your shop shut down, which, by the way, if you get your shop shut down, you can never start another, and you lose the ability to buy on Etsy.
Yeah, you're just banned. You're just IP banned. You're gone.
You're gone. That's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is what happened to this couple, and you get sued.
Yep.
And
it's literally happening right now. Go watch our video we posted. You
will not be able to fight Disney's lawyers. You won't. You won't. There's no way. I don't care how much money you make. You won't. You won't. You won't be able to fight Disney. So it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And a lot of people say like, oh, no, I make Disney stickers. But if people don't recognize characters, I can't just make up my own characters. People won't search for that. That's so not true. That's so not true. We have so many sellers who have rebranded their shops, and they've gotten rid of all the copyright stuff and all of the trademark stuff from their shop. And they've been, you know, original and added in their original art and made their own cutesy little characters. And they've done fine. Is it going to be as popular as if you were making Mickey Mouse stickers? Maybe not, but you are on, you know, borrowed time if you're selling products. And it's not because we hate what you're doing or we hate you and we don't want to work with you and we think that you're a terrible person. That's not it. We would be awful coaches if we told you that what you were doing was okay and legal. It's illegal. And yes, a lot of people get away with it, but it doesn't mean that it's legal. Just like there's probably some guy, you know, a couple houses down from you who's doing crack in his basement. Doesn't mean it's legal.
You've probably been driving on the highway with somebody driving 115 miles an hour down the highway, and they probably didn't get pulled over, but it doesn't make it right.
And it doesn't mean that they won't eventually get pulled over.
Or kill somebody.
Which, you know, making Disney, you probably. But however.
You don't know that.
Now, that is another case with toys, that when somebody sees the Disney name on a toy, they immediately associate it with Disney, and therefore they think that it is safe. They assume this product is safe for me to give to my child. But if it is something that you have made in your house and you are not following, you know, like guidelines for child safety laws.
She's on it, dude. Second wind.
And you get in trouble, or if a child, you know, chokes on something, that looks bad on Disney.
And that looks real bad on you.
And it looks bad on Etsy. And you have to understand why these laws exist. I know that we had one guy who was super duper mad at me, and he's like, "Oh, they're so terrible. Disney is stolen from artists, and Disney is not the bad guys." But that's not the point.
We literally had a conversation about this other day. Disney hires more artists than any other company on the planet.
Oh, Disney's corrupt. Disney's corrupt.
Yeah, they're corrupt, but all they're doing is enforcing laws that they didn't make. They're not actually doing anything corrupt as far as art goes. It's their art.
Well, and the thing is, Disney aside, whether you like Disney or not, the thing is the laws that Disney follows are the same laws that we have to follow. And there's no way to take a law that Disney has to follow and make it so that we don't have to follow it.
It's your intellectual property. And if you're stealing Disney's intellectual property, somebody working there that wakes up at the same time as you every morning drew that piece of art, it got successful, and you're stealing it. That's how that is. It doesn't matter if you like the company or not. It's still somebody's art. But anyway, we're like going on a tangent here.
Yeah. So just be careful, guys. We never create content in order to, be mean to anybody. But
ever.
But if we only told you the things that you wanted to hear, then we would be terrible coaches. And I'm okay losing a couple subscribers who are like, "Oh, she doesn't like what I make, then I'm just gonna unsubscribe."
She's kissing the mouse's boot.
Yeah, that's
shut up.
That's not how it is at all.
And we don't kiss Etsy's boots either.
Right. They do stupid stuff all the time. But we want you guys to be safe. We want you guys to run businesses that are sustainable, that you guys can build longevity on. We don't want the rug to be pulled out from under you, and we don't want you to get sued. So we love you guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Subscribe. Make sure you click the subscribe button. We get a lot of people saying to thumbs up and like, but the subscribes actually do quite a bit more for us than anything else, because it makes YouTube say, "Hey, people are wanting to watch their content. Put them in front of more people." So that helps us out more than anything. It's free. Click the subscribe button.
We've raised $126 for the American Foundation for Suicide
Prevention.
Prevention.
Thank you for your donations. I really do appreciate that.
Absolutely. And guys, we'll be streaming tonight over on Twitch at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central.
I've posted the link.
Wait, what time Pacific?
4 p.m. Pacific. 11 p.m. UK?
Yeah.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12 p.m.
Midnight
UK.
Over at Professor Prosciutto, and we're going to be playing Valheim.
I believe so, yes. Drinking and playing Valheim and being silly and stupid and fun. Yeah. But we love you guys, and we will see you tonight. If not, Tuesday for a new video. If not, next Friday for another live stream. Bye-bye. We're gonna wave for a minute.
Oh, yeah. We got to wave.
I'm working on the song, but if you know anything about writing songs, it takes a few weeks.
He needs divine inspiration.
I need inspiration.
I'll inspire